In the eerie hours before dawn, the guests slept soundly in their pajamas. Except for one shadowy figure in particular with a diabolical plan to murder Jacob or Alfred. At precisely 4:13 a.m., the nocturnal serenity was suddenly disrupted by a blaring fire alarm. The harsh noise jolted the guests out of their beds like startled cats. In a frenzied panic, they rushed outside to the giant patio near the pool. Charles's voice resonated through the chaos outside everybody. His voice was filled with a strong sense of urgency. He then called out everyone's names. Eddie. Eddie swiftly raised his hand in an anxious manner. Athena. Athena also raised her hand. Alfred. Alfred was not outside with the rest of the guests. There was a brief, tense pause before Alfred burst into the scene completely out of breath. I'm here. I'm here, he panted. Jacob. Charles's call for Jacob was met with sinister silence. Jacob. Hello. Every guest shouted out his name, their calls piercing through the night. Suddenly, a distant, faint yelling rose out of blue. Did you guys hear that? Alana's voice quivered. It sounded like someone's yelling. Where is that coming from? Miranda exclaimed. The faint yelling soon drew closer. It was an agonizing yell that sounded like a desperate cry for help, but none of the guests could decipher what it exactly was. That is until a horrifying sight, less than greater than, unraveled before them. Jacob, engulfed in flames, sprinted across the lobby while emitting an unsettling symphony of screams. Ah! He yelled as the blaze scorched his skin, slowly delving deeper into his flesh. His body was literally a living torch. Each flame was like a piranha with titanic fangs, each painfully biting him alive. Bit by bit. Oh my god, oh my god, Sue shrieked with terror. Jacob finally hurled himself into the pool, instantly extinguishing the flames. However, it was too late. His charred, motionless body gradually sunk beneath the surface of the pool. The flames extinguished in a millisecond, but nothing could ever extinguish the haunting trauma that would forever be engraved into each witness' soul. Minutes later, filled right pointer. Open black lens bracket POV, Sue close black lens bracket. Soon after Jacob's death, Charles gathered us to sit in the lobby. Tears streamed down my face as I rested my head on Bernice's shoulders, traumatized from what I had seen. She consoled me by caressing my neck, and the only audible sounds were her soothing, comforting whispers and the other guests weeping from Jacob's death. That was crazy, Alfred said to the other guests. Wait, Liam directly gazed at Alfred. Why did you meet us outside so late? I was so paranoid that I hesitated to head downstairs right away. I had to check for traps the killer might have set forth, Alfred responded. Fair enough. Anyone know where Jacob came from? RJ looked around in a methodical manner and quietly spoke. He came from upstairs, I think. Soon, Charles approached us ready to give further details. Please forgive the Predorn pyrotechnics, he uttered with a somber tone. Oh 1. Jacob is dead. His terse statement was extremely unnerving. When is it going to happen to me? I thought, another tear streaming down my face. He continued to speak, the sun is rising on a brand new day, bringing you one step closer to $1 billion. After all, we are in this together. Charles lifted his pajamas to reveal a remote device that was securely attached to his ankle. The killer put this device around my ankle while I was sleeping and I have no clue what it does and I am unable to physically remove it. Being the most lucid detective will not only save your life, but mine as well. I'm afraid there is no way out of the mansion no matter how clever you are. What? A sense of dread settled over me as I screamed at the back of my mind. This game just got a lot worse. Death lurked around every corner, patiently waiting to devour its next victim. Charles instructed, once again, you will have 30 minutes to examine one of the following areas. 1. The crime scene where our second victim took their final plunge. 2. The last known whereabouts where Jacob's nightmare became a reality. Or 3. The morgue where Jacob's crispy-toast body is isolated in an icy cold room. Everyone pondered onto where to head. By day's end, the killer will be looking to see which one of you will be next to be murdered. He left the lobby, leaving time for the guests to decide which area they wanted to examine. Athena initiated the conversation. Last time, the last known whereabouts gave us a pretty big clue. That is where I'd like to go again. So did the morgue, I replied. I'll go to the morgue, Alfred said. Miranda and Eddie nodded and agreed to go to the morgue with him. Last time, we all split up and I thought we all wanted to be honest and not everybody was. Miranda spoke, her voice laced with criticism. Bernice scoffed, you weren't honest either. I mean, you didn't tell me about the pool of blood. It's a game, you guys. But, you know what? None of us are going to advance very far if we're not helping each other, Alfred said, trying to ease the tension in the room. Come on, bring it in. He rallied everyone together. Every guest stood up from the couch and collectively put out their hands in a circle, a symbol of a universal alliance. Yes, Mr. Football Coach. Liam yelled humorously. Everyone laughed. Stay alive on 3, Rod yelled. Everyone chanted, 1, 2, 3, stay alive. Filled right pointing pointer. Open black lens bracket POV, third person close black lens bracket. Charles headed back to the parlor with the guests along with 2 other maids. My dear guests, the heat is on. Who would like to go to the last known whereabouts? Alana, Lindsay, RJ, and Liam raised their hands. The maid directed them to the area. Who would like to scrutinize the scene of the crime? Charles asked. Rod, Bernice, and Athena raised their hands. Bernice was annoyed that Athena raised her hand. She knew that last time they were together, Athena seemed distracted by little things that were irrelevant. That leaves Alfred, Miranda, Sue, and Eddie. Please follow me to where the body rests. The 4 got up and followed Charles to the morgue downstairs. Filled right pointing pointer. Open black lens bracket POV, Alana close black lens bracket. Location last known whereabouts, Alana, Lindsay, RJ, Liam. The 4 of us cautiously entered Jacob's room, a silent witness to the night's horrors. Upon entering, our eyes were immediately drawn to the doorknob since it was mysteriously coated with soot. It looked like a small bomb went off on his door. So when he turned the doorknob, he caught on fire I think, I suggested. RJ scratched his chin, so where did this soot come from? What is this soot? Everyone seemed clueless. My gaze wandered around the room, searching for more clues. Next to his bed, an unsettling note on the table caught my attention. I held it up and Liam approached me with curiosity. What does that say? Saint Agatha, protector of fire, sleep tight. I recited as a slight shiver ran down my spine. Lindsay held a small, opened case that laid beside the note. So the killer left him a note with this case, she speculated. But there's nothing inside the case, I observed, my mind racing with possibilities. Wait, but there are clips in here. It seems like there was some sort of chain or medallion inside the case, Liam pointed out. Lindsay was visibly puzzled. Someone doesn't just catch on fire by turning a doorknob. How did he catch on fire? I shared my theory, still feeling doubtful about it. I mean, it could have been from the lamp. This could have caught. I soon realized how ridiculous my theory sounded after saying it out loud, actually. I don't know, guys. This seems complicated. We examined the lamp, but there was nothing out of the ordinary except a slightly melted cord. RJ attempted to decipher the murder from another angle. Maybe there was something on his shirt. His upper body was on fire. Nothing made sense to me. Everything was out of proportion, the puzzle pieces refused to fit together, and the only concrete clue we knew of was the charred doorknob. I knew that I was going to have to rely on others for more information. So the main things we got from here is that there's a gift, there's a medallion, the doorknob is charred, and the lamp cord is kind of melted, I concluded. The rest of the group nodded in approval. Open black lens bracket POV, Bernice close black lens bracket. Location crime scene. Rod, Athena, Bernice. As the three of us headed over to the pool area, I stared at the two fragments of fabrics, remnants of Jacob's death, floating atop the water surface. I couldn't help but recall the trauma that had unfolded this morning. The pool, once serving as a symbol of warm welcome, had now become a memorial, a giant tombstone of Jacob. Before the flashback could play in my mind, Athena's voice broke the quietude. Is there something we can use to fish those fabrics out? Rod scanned the vicinity. I think there might be a net or something here. Following Rod's gaze, Athena walked to the pool equipment area and found a long pole with a net in a pile of clutter. She used the pole to fish the fabrics out of the pool surface. As Rod was about to reach for the fabric, Athena swung it away from him. Don't touch it, she warned. Rod ignored her demands. It's not like there's going to be prints or anything. I know, but there might be something in or on it, she retorted, her brows furrowed in concern. Rod, undeterred, examined the fabrics. It seems like these were Jacob's socks, but these aren't the same socks we were wearing. I wonder why the socks weren't burnt, I pondered aloud. The fire might have started from his chest, I'd say. It might not have gotten all the way down before he jumped into the pool, Rod speculated. Less than greater than. Okay, so, different socks than we have. Which is weird, and socks that aren't burnt, Athena noted. I traced every event leading up to last night and recalled that the socks I wore to sleep were grey fuzzy socks while Jacob's socks were dark, black cotton socks. And not long after, Rod seemed to have found another clue. What is that down there? Let me try to grab it. It seemed to look like a golden chain that Jacob could have worn. Athena scratched her head. I don't think the pole is long enough to reach for that. Well, one of us is going to have to dive in for it. I'll do it, Rod said with no hesitation. I'm not going in there, I grimaced in disgust, recalling that this pool was the same pool that had cradled Jacob's corpse. I wasn't sure if Rod was serious. He took off his shirt. Here, hold this. He was definitely serious. Athena gasped. I can't believe he just jumped in. We watched as he dove to the bottom of the pool, then surfaced with the chain. Mysteriously, this so-called chain was a medallion that said, Saint Agatha, pray for us. This is definitely significant, Athena said in astonishment. Rod once again caught a glimpse of something else in the pool. He swam back down to reach for a big patch of fabric and placed it on the surface. Something did not seem right. Wait, wasn't he wearing a plaid shirt at dinner? The people in the morgue are gonna know what the rest of his outfit was, Rod responded. There's also another thing. Athena walked to the parlor door and gestured me to take a look at its entrance lock. I don't know if it's significant or not. Look at the doorknob. I think the other locks are missing. I rolled my eyes, annoyed that Athena was always marching to the beat of her own drum. It seemed like she was always distracted because every minor detail clouded her judgment. What was the point of me even trying to help her? I thought, feeling deeply irritated. Filled right pointing pointer. Open black lens bracket POV, Alfred close black lens bracket. LOCATIONMORGUE, Sue, Miranda, Eddie, Alfred. Holy crap. I'm so sorry, Jacob. This looks terrible, I murmured. The contrast between the morgue's icy atmosphere and Jacob's charred remains bear the heavy weight on my soul. What you want to look for is an accelerant spot. The hottest part, I advised, drawing back on my background in arson. Eddie pointed to Jacob's chest. Right here, the shirt is completely burned. I mean his arm also looks really burnt, Miranda noticed. I examined Jacob's right arm and noticed a pattern following up to his hand. I instantly knew the point of origin. It might have started from his right hand. I knew that arson investigators determined where the point of origin was by looking at the most charred part of the body. The distal part of his arm had more severe burns than the proximal. Suddenly, Sue realized something strange. Hey, wait a second. Is he wearing the same pajamas we are wearing? Wow, Sue's realization unveiled a new dimension to our discovery. How did we miss the obvious? Jacob wore plaid pajamas, but we wore entirely different ones. Those pajamas were only meant for him. Miranda gasped in bewilderment. He put the pajamas on and the killer knew that it was soaked in something that ignited him. Okay, now let me ask you guys something. Are you playing the game where no one else knows this information and we're keeping this pact? Or you tell what you want to tell? I asked, attempting to negotiate some strategy with my group. I say we trade information, Miranda suggested. The others nodded in agreement. Alright, you guys. Rest in peace, Jacob. We covered his corpse with a white sheet and soon exited the morgue. Open black lens bracket POV, third person close black lens bracket. After everyone investigated their respective areas, Charles instructed the guests to meet at the parlor. By the looks on your faces, some of you are hot on the case, but some of you are burnt out, he said. Sue and Bernice rolled their eyes. Based on your findings, you may share what you have learned. Others may decide to keep some of their discoveries a secret. Remember that information is currency. Details can be the difference between life and death, Charles uttered. He dismissed himself from the parlor. Liam gestured RJ, Alana, and Lindsay to have a private chat with him. Hey, listen. Instead of St. Agatha, let's tell everyone that the note said St. Augustine, Liam murmured. I'll go with St. Agnes, Lindsay replied. He nodded. By giving fake names of the medallion, Liam could discover which area had the medallion, the crime scene or the morgue. Of course, the people at the crime scene, Rod, Athena, and Bernice found the medallion, but Liam does not know that. At the opposite end of the parlor, Rod, Athena, and Bernice had a private discussion. We're not mentioning the chain. We have 2 pieces of evidence to give away. I had to jump in the pool for it. You have to mention that part because people are going to see that I'm wet, Rod demanded. Less than greater than. But are we going to trade as a group? Athena questioned. No, I can give you my word that I'm not going to say anything, Bernice answered. Athena was hesitant. Her approach was to be upfront and exchange information with the rest of the guests. She figured it would increase her chances of getting a spared card. Filled right pointing pointer. Open black lens bracket POV, LINZIE close black lens bracket. As I was in the bar, Rod approached me and held out his champagne glass. Heavy on the champagne, please, he requested. The maid poured him a full glass. You went to the crime scene, right? I asked him, wondering why he was wearing a bathrobe. Yeah, I was in the pool. Never mind that. I want to talk to you for a second. As I followed Rod to the hallway, he gestured Eddie to tag along. Alright, so we're going to form a team. How do you feel about being our third, Lindsay? We can each share our pieces of information, Rod offered. Okay, sure, I answered reluctantly. But then again, I realized that I had nothing to lose at this point. Nobody told me anything yesterday, so a partnership with Rod and Eddie could be quite beneficial. Outside of the scene, we can lie. The point is, we are not deceiving each other. We're going all the way to the finals, alright. Rod beamed. Eddie and I nodded. Filled right pointing pointer. Open black lens bracket POV, Bernice close black lens bracket. Sue, Alfred, Alana, and I stood by the kitchen counters for a conversation and cheered our glasses filled with champagne. I need to get my story straight on how the note ended, Alana said. Alfred jumped in. Well, I'll tell you what went down. He was ignited while standing up. Okay. How do you know? I asked. The soles of his feet, Sue answered. Alana explained her findings to us. So on his nightstand next to his bed, there was a piece of paper. It was a note that said St. Augustine. My eyes narrowed, thinking that this was some kind of hoax. The medallion I found at the crime scene clearly said St. Agatha, not St. Augustine. When Alfred and Sue left the kitchen, I pulled Alana aside to try to figure out what she was planning. So the necklace said St. Agatha. I don't know what that means, but I just wanted you to know because we said we would be honest with each other. If there's anything you held back. Oh yeah, I held something back. Hold on a second. Alana scanned our surroundings, making sure there was nobody nearby. The note said St. Agatha, protector of fire, she whispered. I thought you said Augustine. And that's what I'm going to keep saying. There is a whole plan to this. Oh, okay, got it. Filled right pointing pointer. Open black lens bracket POV, Liam close black lens bracket. Eddie and I sat together at a table. I initiated the discussion. Next to the jewelry box was a note. The note said St. Agatha. Wait, no, it said St. Agnes. Damn it, I was confused between the real pendant name Agatha and the pseudonyms Agnes, Augustine. This name game was quite a challenge. Are you certain it said Agnes? Eddie questioned. Absolutely. From the looks of it, Eddie did not seem to have the medallion in his assigned location, the morgue, so I figured that the crime scene probably did. Death scary killer blood detective murder crime competition murderer. Open black lens bracket POV, Rod close black lens bracket. The guests and I sat down on the couches where we first convened. Charles held a large white flag that had a crest symbol on it. The two maids beside him held out a tray of small white flags for each of us to grab. Now, these white flags may help you uncover new clues and hopefully, help you solve the crime. Do wave them carefully, comrades, for they each come with these words of warning, Charles said. He flipped the flag he held to reveal the riddle at the back. He read the riddle on the flag. When you discover fire in liquid form, you'll find out that you're getting warm. On top of the cycles, you'll spot a label. Look above and below, if you're able. To shed light on the crime, you must follow the clue. Trudging along could be the death of you. Fire in liquid form, could that be lava or something? I grabbed a white flag from the tray and started scattering around the mansion. Eddie approached me and suggested, we're all probably thinking lava. Maybe the clue is under the barbecue grill outside. I'll check that, you stay here. He dashed outside to the field while I... Less than greater than. What the hell are you doing? I questioned Lindsay with incredulity. Why are you trying to catch your flag on fire? Her idea seemed absolutely absurd. I don't know. I was thinking that maybe the clue gets revealed when I light my flag on fire, she shrugged. I shook my head in disbelief. A few seconds later, I came up with an idea. Wait. On top of the cycles. Laundry room, I whispered to myself. I rushed downstairs to the laundry room. Miranda and Alana noticed me sprinting across the parlor, so they followed me. Just great. I arrived to the laundry room with them. We started opening the high shelves and Miranda found a spray bottle with a large label attached to it. It read, benzene, highly flammable. Alana and I stood alongside her to examine it. Alana pointed to a smaller label attached to the bottle. Look. There are instructions. Miranda read the instructions aloud. Instructions for use. Spray your flag. Locate the same. Turning the knob helps make your claim. The time is now to drag your feet. For those who die or unable to compete, try spraying your flag with the bottle, Alana suggested. We sprayed our flags with the chemical and the pink stripes started to appear. None of us were sure what this meant, so we rushed upstairs to the parlor for further clues. We couldn't find anything until Miranda turned her flag to the other side. Look, there's a crest on the back, she whispered. I repeated a piece of the riddle that I recalled, locate the same. I remembered that when I ran to the second floor, I caught a glimpse of a door with a crest and a pink stripe down the middle. That must have been the correct door. I gestured to Miranda to follow me upstairs. Look, there's the door, Miranda pointed. As I turned the knob, there was a loud sparking noise that startled us. An electric shock ran up my arm, down my body, through my feet, and into the carpet. Ah, Rod, are you okay? She asked. Eddie followed the sound of Miranda's scream to find us and the estate bell rang, indicating that the riddle has been solved. I smiled and whispered to Eddie and Miranda, Jacob caught on fire by twisting the metal doorknob in his room. He built up a profusion of static electricity. Filled right pointing pointer. Open black lens bracket POV, so close black lens bracket. Damn. As soon as I suggested for Bernice and I to head upstairs, the estate bell rang. Now, it's just a matter of having to rely on others for information. Alana and Liam approached us. Did you guys find anything? I inquired. I was standing at the bottom of the stairs. I heard Rod and Miranda turn something and when they did, there was a loud spark. Miranda screamed and came down the stairs, Alana told us. So what are we going to do to get the rest of the information from them? Liam questioned. At the corner of my eye, I saw Miranda, Rod, Lindsay, and Eddie having a discussion at a table outside. I'm going to walk over to their table. I mean it's not like they are going to say no, Bernice suggested. I figured that Bernice's idea was brilliant. Bernice and Rod were in the crime scene together, so maybe Rod could help us. I'll come with you, I suggested. As Bernice and I approached Rod, I immediately felt unwelcome by his disdainful visage. Hey, can we talk? Bernice asked the group. Well, we just want to talk to you, I retorted. We need privacy, can you please go? If you're going to stand there, we're going to move somewhere else. Unfortunately, Rod's decision to withhold the information from us put our group in jeopardy. He had no intention of communicating with Bernice even though they worked together at the crime scene. We were just greeted with scorn along with cold stares from the rest of his team. I rolled my eyes, feeling indignant. Bernice and I walked back to Alana and Liam. This is ridiculous. That's the last time I'm ever cooperating with Rod, Bernice said to them. Liam was livid. There's now a distinct line drawn. It's us versus them, he smoldered. Maybe Eddie will tell me. We worked well together in the morgue, I suggested. Also, during the riddle, I told him to go down to the washing machine, but he didn't think the washing machine, so he definitely owes me one. About 10 minutes passed by and Eddie was still talking with Rod's group at the table. Feeling a bit more irritated, I went back outside to shout his name, Eddie. Do you have a second? He gave me a quick glance and ignored me. I was mortified that we're not sharing information like we used to, we're not trusting each other like we should be. Everything was just a hot mess. Soon, RJ and Alana came into the lobby. RJ, get Lindsay in here so I can get Eddie to tell us what's going on. You guys gotta break that group up, I demanded. But let me tell him why, Alana responded. I tried once again, I stormed outside to see if Eddie would respond. Eddie, I shouted. He continued to talk to Rod. Anger flooded my veins. There's definitely going to be a murder,